Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. Now, what I call CPS is the Child Protection System. It's found in every county in every state worldwide. This is a worldwide live stream, meaning anybody that has internet can pick me up and hear me talk and see me. Now, it's very important that I make a disclaimer. This is not legal advice because I'm not an attorney. This is educational purposes only. Now, if you want legal advice, I have an attorney. His name is Vincent W. Davis, and his phone number is 888-888-6582. Now, who I am is I'm a loving father and a husband, and I have 43 years of marriage experience and 61 years of working and life skills. I've been coming on here for this is my 25th month, 2 years. This is my 2 years now, and I've been talking twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 live streams a week, and we do this continuously. And I've reached out and talked to over 20. Um, I've talked to over 2,800 people from 24 countries. And I'm here to help you as best as I can. Uh, there's some other housekeeping things I need to talk about. I put a banner up there that says that basically state your name, your location, and either text me a message about a question about your CPS, or you want to tell a story, or you have a comment. Because I do want to help you. I have lots of ideas. I can problem solve you and help you. Now, I want you to relax and feel comfortable because you've reached the right spot. You've reached the right spot. Uh, Now, besides texting me a message, you can also be a guest on my live stream. And that's where you'll send me an email. My email address is up there in a banner. You'll make sure you include your name, your phone number, and your email, and the time you want to be on my show. You just pick one of my shows. I'm doing Bob's Sunday morning show, or Bob's Friday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show, etc. It's morning or night. Now I'm on every day of the week, twice a day. In the mornings, Monday through Friday, weekdays, I come on at 10 o'clock. On the weekend, I come on at 8 o'clock, Saturday and Sunday. Then the evening I'm on every time at 7 p.m. at night, 7 p.m. at night. And I do want to help you. I do want to help you. Excuse me. Now, when you send in your email with all the information, I'll contact my show producer, Grace, and she'll send you out a link to get on to SteamYard, which is the software application I use. Now, StreamYard uses YouTube to transmit. So you see my image and you see the format of um, my window. I basically can do banners, and you guys can text in a message, and you can actually be one of 10 people. I can take up to 9 of you guests at one time. With me, it makes 10, and we can have 10 separate windows and 10 people talking. That's what StreamYard does. Now, when I mentioned about legal advice, when you call into 888-888-6582, you tell the reception that you want to speak to Mr. Davis. You say that Bob Pace sent you. Now, there's several packages you can get legal advice with Mr. Davis. One is you can have a private text message for $10. $10, you can have a private text message. For $15, you can have a private call from attorney Vincent Davis. And for $25, you can be a guest on his 30-minute live stream with Mr. Davis. You want to send via your credit card through Cash App, Apple Pay, or Zella to 310-308-7758. And that banner will stay on there on the bottom of the screen for the length of the show. Now, he is a real attorney, licensed and educated in the areas of juvenile law, family law, dependency law. That's the law you're going to be in. That's the law you're going to be in. Now, I do want to put my phone number up so that you guys can call in. It's 626-698-0990. Now, when you get the link from my show producer, Grace, you just put it in your browser. If you get knocked off, put it in again because the link is still good. I want to welcome Betty Jo from Montana. Good morning, Betty Jo. A warm welcome to you. Can you get all of Grace and have her call me, get a hold of her? I think is what he's saying. What you can do is that you can send an email to Grace. I'm not allowed to give out her number, but you can send an email to Grace. All you do is write to Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Grace at vincentwdavis.com. I think I still have the banner of hers. I'm not sure. Yeah. Here's her email. If you want to get a hold of Grace, Betty Jo, who is a foster care mom from Montana, who has a niece that she's trying to get custody of. It's her brother's child. And her brother was going through treatment when they terminated his rights, which was wrong. And they're trying to keep the child in custody with a foster parent that's not her family, that only wants her because of the money that they get from CPS in Nebraska. That's Grace, my show producer. You can write her and request what you need from her, Betty Jo. I put my number back up for all you that want to call in. Oh boy, we got a person that keeps changing their name. This is Cook. Hello, Cook. Good morning. I don't know where you're from, Cook. Can you give me your location, please, Cook? I'm trying to come up with a name for you. Put a request into Grace at her email. It's grace at vincentwdavis.com. Uh, uh. Good morning, Bartley. Good to see you. She also is from uh, Montana. She's a neighbor of Betty Joe. Bartley is a single mom who's trying to get your young son back, 5 years old. She has two other children. One is going to be 18 soon, the other one is older. But her main priority is to get her son home with her. She's been wrongfully accused. They have done some horrible things to her, and men in her life have been really detrimental to her. She has a lot of things that she has to do to get her son back. One of the hardest things she has is that the biological father who raped her has come back into the life to say that he wants her son. And Bartley has a limited source of income, but she has a clean home, a warm home, and she wants to do homeschooling with her 5-year-old son. The social worker put the boy into education. That's so they don't have to pay to take care of him, because when they take a child out, they have to use money, and they're so greedy with money. It's unbelievable. Um, what's going on, Betty Joe? Um, what do you need Grace to help you with that I can't help you with? Grace is nothing more than a show producer, and she does sets up my rooms. If you want to talk to Vincent Davis, he'll talk to you with a private call for $15. It's 888-888-6582 is the office. Oh, well, Grace is not as well into CPS as I have been, because I have now 15 years of experience dealing with CPS, and I'm still there. Uh, Grace is a show producer. I have no problem about you contacting her. Her email is what you can do best to get a hold of her, Grace at vincentwdavis.com. But I know that if you wanted to start your own live stream, maybe she can help you out there. Maybe she can help you out there, because that's what she does. She sets up the live streams. I think that she's basic is that she's into computers. Anyway, what's the latest, Betty Joe? What's the latest with your case? How's that little boy that you adopted doing? Betty Joe, you're getting a new front door. I don't know when that's going to happen. I know you got your wood burning stove working, and you're getting a new wall heater soon, which is good. It gets cold up in Montana. Um, oh, okay. Well, Grace can't help you out there because she knows nothing about the termination of parental rights, or she knows nothing about CPS. All she's heard is what I do on my show and what Vincent Davis does on her show. If you want more specific things, your best bet is to talk to Vincent Davis. And for $15, he'll talk to you on the phone. So you can ask him questions. All you do is follow that banner at the bottom of my screen. You send it to Cash App, Apple Pay, or Zella at 310-308-7758. And you just send the $15 and say you want to speak to Vincent Davis. And he will talk to you. And you can ask him about the appeal for the termination of parental rights. In the appeal process, if you have an attorney working for you, that attorney will make it easier for you. What is the specific question about your brother signing something? I think it's a good thing he signed it because he's trying to appeal because he was in uh, therapy or uh, drug rehab, and they did the termination of rights when they shouldn't have. And so, if you tell me more what your question is about the appeal for termination of parental rights, I can help you. I can help you. Huh. Uh, uh, oh, Cook. This is Dorothy Cook. Okay, Dorothy. Uh, she is using YouTube. So she's created a handle on YouTube, and she's from North Carolina. That's my Dorothy Cook. I know who you are, Dorothy. She's from North Carolina, and she says her Facebook freezes when watching the show, so trying YouTube. Well, I'm sorry that happens. I don't know why. That may be your internet because YouTube should not freeze. It should not freeze there. Anyway, I have a room with Dorothy Cook from North Carolina, Betty Joe from Montana, and Lisa Bartley, 54, from Montana. These are three beautiful women that have been part of my show for a long time that have been fighting to get their kids back. In Betty Joe's case, she's trying to help out her brother get her niece back. And Lisa Bartley is trying to get her 5-year old son back. And Dorothy Cook, uh, I don't know. Did you get your child back, or what's the status, Dorothy Cook, on your child? I need an update from you, Dorothy, from North Carolina. Now, a lot of you want to know what CPS stands for. I call it the Child Protection System. It's a government entity that was started in 1962 by an act of Congress that informed social service that they would create a group of social workers to protect their children from abuse and neglect. Also, they're supposed to do what's called family reunification. That is one of the main things that they should attempt to do because the best parents are the biological parents. So if one of the parents messed up or didn't mess up, they should try to get the family back together. And it's so sad that right now, most of the 2,800 people I talked to are involved with a rogue CPS entity, meaning an entity that has gone bad, that is not fair, not working their case. They're taking money and they're taking advantage because these people don't have money to hire a real attorney to fight the case. And that's the whole crutch of things. When you sit there and try to fight CPS yourself, you're not going to get anywhere because you're going to ask for an attorney, and CPS hopes you ask for an attorney because the attorney that you're given are the ones that CPS hires that work for them. They're criminal attorneys, they're not juvenile law, family law, or dependency law attorneys. So they don't even have the right background. And unless you put a lot of heat underneath them, they're not going to perform. Meaning that if you tell the court appointed attorney or public defenders that they work for you and they need to defend your case, and you need to have them know that you sue them for negligence and also go to the state bar, the capital of your state, and uh, file a complaint with the state board of license for attorneys. Their license can be removed. Without a license, they cannot practice law. So there is some leverage you have against court appointed attorneys. Also, if one doesn't work out, you go to the courthouse your case is in, try to find the public defender's office and say you want to substitute your current court appointed attorney because they're not defending your case. There is a conflict of interest because they're controlled by CPS and they're given so many cases that they can't keep up, meaning they're given 30 to 100 cases, which is way too many cases to resolve. They don't have any time to talk outside of court. They're the whole time. Anyway, I'm glad to see Betty Joe and Bartley and Dorothy Cook in here. Please ask me any questions. I know Lisa's called me in a lot of times. Bartley's called me in a lot of times. So feel free to call me again, Lisa. I enjoyed talking to you, hearing from you, and also answering questions and concerns. Uh, Hopefully, Betty Joe, you got Grace's email at grace@vincentwdavis.com. You send it to her with what you want her to do, and she will follow through. Um, Also, you can, as I say, talk to Vincent Davis for $15. He will call you for a private chat. The banner at the bottom of my screen will help you out there. Now, I've told you about how to text a message, and I've told you how to be a guest, and I've given my number for you to call in. Now, we're halfway through the show. My show goes to 9 o'clock. And so I'd love to hear from you because your questions help makes the show go better. Um, because I know that you guys are getting tired of hearing my story about my case and about the rules that I've come up with, the 5 rules that I've come up with, and what to do with a court appointed attorney. There are 4 rules there you need to follow with a court appointed attorney. And Bartley has suddenly seen the light. She's following what I'm saying. So that is a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Well, it's kind of quiet down now. Besides texting a message or calling in or being a guest, you can also do emojis. You can send me hearts, smiley faces. You can send thumbs up. I like stars. You can send me stars. Please check the follow button and make a review about me. Please make a review about me. Also, if you want to be notified when I'm on, check the notification button. And I love to help you. I love to help you. And um, there's all kinds of things. If you're with Native American and Indian, okay, we got a caller come in here. Good morning and welcome to my live stream. This is Bob Pace. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to? Hey, Dorothy. Good to hear from you.
I'm good to hear. Be able to be heard, Mr. Bob.
Yes. Right. Well, I see you have a new handle here. And so, welcome. I'm sorry that Facebook is freezing up on you.
No problem. Just important. Don't stop. Find another way to get me what down.
You know, I'd asked earlier in the show, what is the status of your children?
With my daughter, I didn't get custody of her back. But the thing is that they sent me a letter after the case was over and said that they didn't terminate my rights. So I don't even know. That's why I say less, because I don't know what it is that they talk about.
Well, Dorothy, if they haven't terminated your rights, you need to send them an email or letter back to them and saying, "What about family reunification? How can I get my daughter back?"
The judge terminated my rights, though. But after they did it, DSS sent a letter and said that he didn't, and they didn't terminate him.
Well, then you'd answer the letter.
There's something about this case is not right. I didn't know. Like, I found out by watching one of your shows that parents do have right to the child's education, have say, even though they remove custody, if your rights are not terminated, you still have a right to access to the education and have medical decisions, made in that child's life.
Right. You're right.
They terminated, they made all the decisions themselves. The director made herself the person in charge over my daughter. So they did a whole lot of things I didn't know was wrong to be done. And see, now I'm understanding why they tried to do some of the things that they tried to do and said that what they did, they didn't do. But see, I went through the court process, the whole 9 yards, and someone else was given custody of my child. Her father and someone else was given custody of my daughter. So that's some of the stuff that I don't understand about the system is how they can just switch back and forth whenever they decide they're wrong. They don't have to follow any type of rules and regulations. And that's why I said a lot of things need to be changed.
Yeah, I do that. Well, I would answer that letter that you got and send it back and say that if my rights have not been terminated, can I still do family reunification to get your daughter back? Have you tried that?
Okay, no problem.
Have you tried that?
No, because my case has been closed out since 2018 or 19. But they had told me they didn't give me any family reunification period.
Well, what they okay.
I never knew why they removed her, so I didn't know what I need to do to get her back.
Well, here's what you can do.
They told me if I signed a paper and giving them access to my mental health record, mental health evaluation I had done, that they would give me back my daughter. I signed that paper, but they told me that whatever I did in that room, I had to stay in the room. And once I signed that paper, they did not give me my daughter back.
Well, what you can do is put a copy of that letter that says that your rights have not been terminated, that you would like to get back with your daughter and have a family reunification. And that will prompt an answer from them.
And that I will do. I thank you so much.
You won't have anything to lose by a simple letter. Sometimes letters can be powerful. a week ago, I went into Social Security and I wrote them a letter saying they were wrong, what they were accused me of. And they said, "You're right." So my letter that I wrote was worth $27,000. So a letter is a powerful thing because they were very apologetic to me when I met with them in person. And I had talked to the manager of Social Security at the field office in um, where I live. And so um, they were very apologetic. I asked them, though, "Can you send me a letter to confirm this?" They said, "Oh, yes." I had to insist it. Well, I've waited a week and I've not heard from them. So I do have to write a self-serving letter says per our meeting this matter has been dropped, that I don't have to count for $27,000 I spent on my daughter. And that's, I mean, I have no problem accounting for it. It's a simple math. Her place, I was maintaining a bedroom for her, cost me money. And a lot of her things from my house I had to sell couldn't fit in her bedroom. I had to put them in storage and I had to pay for the storage. So between the storage and the rent, that was close to over $30,000 during that time period that they're saying. And then with the cost of the move, her share of the moving cost was $5,000. So I had spent $35,000 of my money during that same time period, and they were coming up with the 27,000. And so um, part of the time too that my daughter, who got a divorce from me, was staying with other people, and they got the money, not me. They took my retirement money and gave it to them, which I don't understand. They should have had their retirement money if they're going to do something. Plus, my daughter took out a second social security number and she was double dipping. She was double dipping.
I had recently found out that the attorney that assisted with my disability case,
Yes, yes.
he had created a second account. They disbarred this person because he was taking people disability money.
Oh,
He
yes.
just got disbarred. They disbarred him because he was setting up a second account. Like we supposed to get a big refund, and he was having to go decipher through a second account and come to him instead of going to that individual and to the account that he was like counting as being for him, sending it to that person.
Yes.
And they disbarred him. They took his bar. They took his license. He can no longer practice law because
Right.
he got caught doing that. And so my thing is who it is that's in the Social Security office that's assisting these people to do that. Because somebody has to be looking the other way in order for them to be allowing the money to come through the system and go to that system. And I mean, you got two different accounts. It's not like it's going to the same account.
Yeah.
They should be able to, tell something that's not right about this. How can this be the problem? And I mean, but then they wait 15, 20 years later to disbar this man for something he did 10, 15 years ago. And that doesn't solve the people problem that he's on, because they're not going to get back their money in the amount that they would have been, if they would have received it when they needed it.
Right.
So we need the Social Security system need to be addressed as well.
Right. Right.
Because all of them are working in the system together. They're covering for each other. There's no way possible somebody can take that amount of money and let it go decipher into somebody else's account, and it doesn't raise a red flag. If you don't pay your bill, they come out immediately and send you a notice and let you know your bill is behind us, and so either come pay it or we're going to come cut it off, or, come back and get whatever it is we gave. It's no way possible that the amount of money can just flow through the system and nobody not know.
I agree.
And when they're looking at child fitness services, they should look at the whole way that the people that's working in that system together and what it is that they're doing to assist each other to make these things happen. Because A is looking one way, B looking another way, and C making sure everything goes the way A and B want it to go. So these is not just one person. You got a system set up that they're making sure everything follows through and everybody getting their cut.
Right.
everybody get their portion of whatever it is being handed out. So ain't nobody gonna tell them nobody because if they tell them somebody, everybody going down together. And I will write that letter, and I thank you so much, Mr. Bob. And then
Yeah.
give somebody else the opportunity to call in.
Okay. Well, Dorothy, thank you so much for being supportive of me. And I really care about you. And I thank you so much over the time with me of how you recap what I'm talking about on the show. It's a hard thing. I'm so glad you called in. It really is hard sometimes to be up here. Um, so thank you and God bless you and keep in touch. All right, Dorothy, let me know the outcome of the letter.
I will, Mr. Bob.
All
Thank
right,
you so much.
you
You
bet.
be
Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay, that was Dorothy Cook who called in. She's from North Carolina. She has a daughter. Her rights have not been terminated, but for some reason they've stopped the family reunification. She never knew what she was wrongfully accused of. They took her daughter. A lot of you are in that situation where CPS takes advantage of parents that aren't attorneys and that maybe are very simple with their ways, but they're loving parents. Dorothy is a very loving parent. And so, she's in there. Hello, Rocky. Rocky has just come into the room, or they say in the house. He is from Westchester, New York. He is fighting for his brother in Virginia who's wrongly been accused and been set up by his ex wife of his brother. And it's a hard thing when you're set up, when alienation's done by parents against one another. And that's what's the problem with Rocky's brother. So, Rocky, I welcome you. And it's good to see you in here every day. You're in here a lot, Rocky, and I know that you mean well and you've helped out other people in this room. So I thank you very much, Rocky. So far, we've had Mrs. Cook, Rocky, Betty Joe, and Lisa Bartley. And two of them are from Montana. Dorothy's from North Carolina, and Rocky's from New York. And I'm from California. I'm found on the West Coast at a place called Surf City, USA, south of Los Angeles. I'm 3 blocks from the ocean. And, I do this live stream. As I mentioned, I have 24 countries, starting with Indonesia to Bangladesh to India, then up to the Middle East to Saudi Arabia and I, Iraq and Libya, then over to the continent of Africa. I have Liberia, Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and the South African and its provinces. Then up to Europe, I have the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales. I also have Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, I have Canada and its provinces. Then down in the United States, I have all 50 states. They've either texted or called in. I've also had Washington, D.C., then south of border, Mexico, and then further south in South America, north of Brazil. On the East Coast is Grenada. Then across the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand, and then the land down under Australia and its states. So that's a lot of people. That's 2,800 people. And they've been having a terrible time with the entity that I call the Child Protection System. It's abbreviated for CPS. It has various different names around the country, around the world. It may be the Department of Children's Services, or it may be the Department of Children and Family Services, or it may be the Child Protection Services, or it may be the Department of Children's Services, or the Cabinet. Uh, every name that they come up with, I think, is adding confusion. But anyway, uh, what I call the government entity that is protecting our children and doing family reunification, as I call the Child Protection System, abbreviated CPS. And that is important there. Now, my case was a horrible case. You know, I started in 2010 with CPS with weekly visits by them with false allegations made by lay people. There are two kinds of reporters, lay people and professionals. The lay people are like your family, your friends, your in laws, the person down the street, your neighbor, the guy at the grocery store. Those are called laymen, and they have a right to call in and report something. And they only get it right 25% of the time. 75% of the time, it's wrong. It's for retaliation against a neighbor for a barking dog or overgrown yard. Or it may be a spouse going after another spouse to alienate them, and they'll call in. You should never call CPS, you know, because you open up, I'm sorry to say this, you open up a can of worms that can be detrimental. Now, if a child is in danger, don't get me wrong, there's over 1,000 cases per day that go unreported that need to be reported. And if a child is in danger, you should report any suspect of neglect or abuse. Now, what I mean by neglect or abuse is I mean when there is abuse, there's usually physical harm to their body. There also can be mental abuse, mental abuse. Um, there can be also sexual abuse. There's sexual abuse, mental abuse, and physical abuse to a child. Now, neglect is when they don't feed a child or clothe a child or take a child to school or supervise a child. That is a form of neglect. Furthermore, there's been something called medical trafficking. Now, there is neglect with medical. For instance, the child needs medical help, the parents refuse to do it. That is neglect. That is neglect. If they need a shot for a disease or they need something to make them feel better, they got to take care of it. So it's important that you understand. Now, the other person that does reporting is so called professional. They're your school teachers, your principal, your counselor, all your caregivers that are taking care of children in daycare or preschool or whatever. They're also called a professional reporter, along with the doctor, the nurse, and then the fire and the police. They're all trained and they're all supposed to know about abuse and what is suspected abuse and stuff. And so um, it's very important that you report that. Now, they only get it right 50% of the time, and they're wrong half the time. And with 50% of the CPS services out there become rogue, it's very bad. And they are being investigated by Doge. The Department of Efficiency is investigating social services and the child protection system. And they're doing so, I know firsthand, because one phone call to a social worker overheard on the phone was introduced as a supervisor in Doge, listening in on a conversation to make sure that my services were taken care of correctly, that were taken care of correctly. Now, It seems like our talking has stopped. I don't know why our talking has stopped. It should stop. It should not stop because I'm here to help you, but I need to know the questions. Now, I have 5 rules I've talked about. One is you need to get a professional attorney to handle your case. I had to sell my forever home, quick sell it, lose my home that I worked 45 years to get, and uh, to get that money to hire a professional attorney. I hired Mr. Davis, and he did get part of my family back. I have 6 children that I've helped raise. 3 are older children, very, very well established families. 3 are my younger children. They're separated, by a good 10, 15 years between the 2 groups. My youngest is 20. He just turned 20 in September. The next one is my daughter. She is 23 now. She turned 23 in last July. Only thing unfortunate about her is that she no longer is our daughter legally. She always will be our daughter because she was given a beautiful name. But the social worker in revenge took it out on us because she was caught committing perjury in court. And when you commit perjury in court, you can be sued. And she wanted to retaliate. So she retaliated and she encouraged her daughter, or actually showed her daughter, how to divorce her parents. And she did the worst case scenario. Not only did she divorce mom and dad, she divorced the whole family. She's divorced from her grandparents and from her brothers and sisters. That's wrong. That's wrong. So, with that being said, she has changed her name. She was told how to change her name. Not only did the social worker involve herself, but the court appointed service advocate, CASA, encouraged her to do so based on stories, not facts, stories. That it's best to be with other parents than to be with your biological mom and dad. We've not stopped loving our daughter who's 23. And it's hard. She did all this at the age of 12. In California, children are allowed to divorce their parents uncontested at the age of 12. All they have to do is say, I want to divorce my mom and dad, and make up any reason. It's like divorce. Divorce in California, you can file for divorce about anything, irrecyclable differences. You don't have to go through a program of counseling or trying to save the marriage. If someone wants to divorce in the state of California, it's easy as one, two, three. And being a communal state, they get half of the assets. They get half of the assets. So I know about divorce. I know about, um, you know, uh, a child who you give everything, who loves you, and she did. She loved her parents. I was very much involved in Girl Scouts and AYSO soccer. Our family traveled a lot. We traveled the world. We've been to Brazil, been to Portugal, been to Canada, all across the United States. I've been to so many countries. I've lived in so many different countries in my lifetime. So I'm a world traveler and I've played multiple sports, football and rugby, primarily, and surfing. And they took me to a lot of places. And I know for 25 years I used to tour countries. And some of these countries I've been there 25 times. So I have a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight on the world. I mean, I just relate a story to you. The other day, I saw a lady close to my age in her 70s who started a very warm uh, hospitality place to stay at in Tavarua, Fiji. Tavarua is a heart shaped island in the Fijian Islands. It's home of one of the best surfing breaks uh, at Cloud and restaurants are two of the known breaks there. And I had first met the Fijians at the 1984 World's Fair in Canada. And they invited me to their country, and I took them up to it. I met that lady who started a business in 92. Anyway, unfortunately, she's passed away. We all are in the circle of life where we will one day pass away. But we should have part of a circle of life. We should try to repent to God for our sins. That's so important because we want to go to heaven. That should be one of the goals of life. Now, I'll digress a little bit since no one's talking. That I picture us on a train traveling in life. We always should have a goal of where we're going to. Now, there was a book that came out, a Christmas story, a recent Christmas story, not all the other Christmas stories in the past, but this is called The Polar Express. It's a story of children who believe in Santa Claus and going to the North Pole. But it's not trying to relate that. I'm relating the transportation and the goal. Now, a train travels on two tracks. There's a left rail and a right rail. Now, the left rail I call the circle of life. Now, the circle of life I got from The Lion King. It's a Disney movie about a father explaining to his son how life starts. Everybody's dependent, and that's how it is. Our children are dependent on so much of our families. That's why it's important that you take care of your family. And so some circles are big and some are small. We have a biological clock. We also have another clock that keeps account of our times on Earth. Sometimes these clocks don't gear up because some people age faster than others. Some people don't. And I'm very blessed to have a biological clock that I'm not aging as fast as the time here on Earth. And so that's a good thing. But on my travel on this train here, I am trying to do good things in life. That's not going to get me to heaven because the right rail is the stairway to heaven. In order to get to heaven, you have to repent your sins to God. Now, I just learned not too long ago, and I should have learned a long time ago, that God and Jesus Christ are the same person. God wanted to come down to earth and mingle with the people he created. So Jesus was created so that God can walk among the people and help them. But Jesus also died for his sins when he's crucified by the Romans on the cross for what he believed in and how he's helping other people. Our world is very complex, but we should stay straight as we can on this train to do our circle of life and to get to heaven. Now, what I've done is I've taken a step further. The two rails rest on wooden ties. Wood is a strong material, very strong material. And I say that each tie represents a good thing you do while you're on earth. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get to heaven if you do a lot of good deeds. That's something totally separate. But doing a good deed every day is a good thing. It's a good thing. I learned that in Boy Scouts. I learned that in Boy Scouts do good deeds. So I, um, you know, do this train ride in my life, this Polar Express, and follow the circle of life on the left rail and the stairway to heaven on the right rail. And in between them, I do try to do a good deed every day. Try to do a good deed every day. And I think talking on this show, I am doing a good deed. I do this twice a day. So I do help. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing this show is because I'm helping you all resolve your problems. I'm a problem solver kind of thinking guy. If there's a problem, I'm like a MacGyver. I can try to resolve it. You know, uh, it's like I think, just like the series called Columbo. You know, he thought things and he made things happen, just like Magnum did too. There's several versions of Magnum out. But there are people in life that are good at problem solving. So what I try to do, I'm not a lawyer, but I try to problem you solve your case for educational purposes. I try to establish the 5 rules that I've come up with. And it's so important. But I do have to go now because it's 9 o'clock and my live stream is over. And I think I went too far here, but I do want to thank Rocky from Westchester, New York, for being in here. Dorothy Cook from North Carolina, thank you for your call in and all you do to help me on my show. Betty Joe, a foster care mother, you're a beautiful mother. And I hope that the appeal for your brother goes through because you have a strong case. And I hope when you email Grace, she will help you with what you need. Um, I would like to try, Betty Joe, for that question you have. I like to be given the opportunity, but that's understandable. And Lisa Bartley, I hope you get your door in, your new heater, and that you get your son back and get that restraining order against the guy that raped you. That's wrong what he did. And the police detective who's investigating should follow up with him and do so. If you haven't done it, there's still Monday. You have to do those things there. And before I forget, Lisa Bartley's from Montana too. Um, so with those people, thank you so much for coming into my show. And I want to thank the person called Ramonda Lynn. I have no idea where you're from, but thank you for the thumbs up emoji. And you people are real people. I care about you. So please come back and be a part of my live stream. I'll be on again tonight, but I'm going to be on early. I'm going to be on at 4 o'clock this afternoon. 4 o'clock. I have a family commitment. And so I'll be gone this evening. So I'll be on my evening show will be at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. That's 4 p.m. So with that being said, I want you never to forget about fighting for your family, for your children. There'll be a short video when I end my live stream. I'm going to put up the information about Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. There's a website with 2 phone numbers. Area code 202 is Washington, D.C. They do work. I also have the email, doge@mail.house.gov. Now, that is the last resort at the government level, the federal level. And you should try to resolve it at the county level first. Talk to a supervisor, talk to a manager, talk to the director. If that doesn't work, go to the state level and speak to the civil rights coordinator or the ombudsperson. and try to get help that way. Then, if that still doesn't work, go to the federal and send your complaints. Send all you can, and they will talk and listen to you. So, thank you again for all being a part of my show. There'll be a short video at the end. And so, have a great afternoon, and I'll see you at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is Bob Pace.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith in